When you're designing soft goods like draperies, valances, and Roman shades, it all starts with the fabric. The right fabric can make or break your window treatment design. Let's talk about some important factors to consider when you're selecting a fabric. But first, be sure to check out our blog posts about railroaded fabric and drapery widths if you haven't already. There, you'll learn that most fabrics measure close to 54 inches wide. Fabric measurements help determine the yardage required for your design. As much as we love patterned fabrics, there are some situations that can be avoided if you choose a solid fabric over a patterned one. Especially if you have an overly analytical client, it's important to consider where a motif in your pattern will fall in regard to your selected window treatment style. Certain fabrics with larger repeats, like toile fabrics for example, will inevitably get cut off, depending on the style and measurements of your product. So you'll have some important decisions to make regarding what part of the pattern you'd like to center where. Or, if you'd prefer the pattern to have more of an even flow, try pairing a more geometric fabric with certain window treatment styles, like a chevron print fabric with select top treatments, a staggered print on a stepped cornice, or a flannel striped fabric on a flat Roman shade. For draperies, if you're not sure about how a pattern fabric will look after pleating, just ask. We're happy to discuss suitable styles for your pattern, but if your client seems more particular about your design choices for their home, a solid fabric may be your best bet. Pattern repeat, width measurements, and pleat style all have an impact on the finished product of your pleated drapery. There are just so many exciting customizations available for your design. For example, the same exact product can take on a totally different look depending on whether you've selected a solid or patterned fabric. Notice the dramatic change in appearance between these two King Windsor valances, with one made from patterned fabric and fringe trim, and the other made from solid fabric with a self-welt. The bright pattern print used for this first headboard has such a different finish than the same headboard shape upholstered in a solid fabric. In contrast, this same fabric can take on a completely different look depending on the type of product you've requested. Plus, adding custom accents like trim or a grand band can have a drastic impact on the same fabric across different products. In addition, different color schemes can evoke different emotional responses across the exact same fabric pattern. Some fabrics are treated similarly to a solid fabric, but finish with subtle stripes or a slub texture across the width. The added textures bring a unique flair to your design, without some of the situations that can arise in pattern fabrics that we covered earlier. Adding trim to your design brings even more visual interest to your textured fabric. Some fabrics have a totally different material makeup that might call for some other considerations. Silk fabrics, for example, have a lovely classic texture, but often require a thicker solo-napped combination lining or flannel inner lining for an appropriate finish. Crushed velvet has also been incredibly popular lately, but keep in mind the exact specifications for your product before selecting velvet, as it can become quite heavy and isn't always a great fit for certain products. And it's important to keep in mind that we recommend hand-sewn hems for velvet draperies. Other upholstery weight and faux leather fabrics are more suitable for cornices than any other window treatment style. In contrast, lighter sheer fabrics typically cannot be upholstered, but are a great choice for a variety of soft window treatment styles. Pattern sheers bring even more visual interest to your custom window treatment design. Open weave casement fabrics are another one of our favorites, oftentimes stretchier and more colorful than traditional sheer fabric. Pairing this with a contrast lining brings a totally unique finish to your window treatment design. Or for a thicker, more luxurious window treatment, consider adding flannel inner lining. See how these designs compare to the same style fabricated with inner lining. While inner lining is a great choice for certain styles, thicker fabrics may become too bulky when paired with inner lining. Try to select a lighter fabric for styles like this. Thicker fabrics become next to impossible to gather, or can potentially finish with too much bulk. Although most upholstery fabrics work well for custom cornices, the C49 cornice with gathered bands and tabs is the exception, requiring fabric with less weight. We are unable to gather down thicker fabric for the bottom band of this cornice style. So, there's a lot to keep in mind when selecting a fabric for your custom window treatment design. We hope this guide was helpful. But remember, throughout your design process, you're not alone. Our customer service reps at Stevens & Vestal are on staff Monday through Friday and will be happy to assist you with custom quotes and help answer any questions along the way. We love bringing your designs to life. Find out more at stevensandvestal.com. And thanks for watching.